Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio.
Yo, you know what it is, Unique Mecca Audio, man. We up here, you know, my good brother, Mutulu Shakur, he just gained his freedom after 36 years in prison. I got his son up here. I got another good brother that I met. I just got in contact with him, and I just spoke to him for the first time since 2007 when we was last in Lewisburg. They put me in the shoe in Lewisburg because, you know, I was coming from California or something. They took me to Atlanta, then to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Then a bus came and picked me up and took me to Lewisburg. The lieutenant came on the bus, let me know I wasn't allowed on the bus. Last time I was on the bus, last time I was on the compound at Lewisburg, I was with, you know, Talib's father, Mutulu, back in the early 90s. You know, he got kicked out of Lewisburg because he was talking to the younger brothers and was a mentor to them, and they didn't want the youngins to have any guidance, and he was our guidance. You know what I mean? So they took him and they sent him to ADX. You know what I mean? That was like early 94. You know what I mean? I wound up getting with the police by let me see, I got with the police about 95, and when they sent me up to the ADX, I got there January 3rd, 1996. And it's funny because they was bringing me in ADX, and they was taking Mutulu out of ADX to give me his bed. You know what I mean? So because of me, Mutulu was released from ADX. So alhamdulillah, I didn't have a problem switching with the OG because he definitely didn't deserve to be there. And I got into it with the police. So I definitely deserve to be there, and I claim responsibility. And I'm letting y'all know now that, you know, I'm not proud of nothing I did. I just did what, you know, I felt had to be done because they was trying to kill one of the brothers, you know. But, you know, let's bring brother Talib up here real quick. You know what I mean? Brother Talib, you know, bring Talib up. Bring him up. Peace, family. Okay, I can't see it on my end, but just go ahead, Talib. You know, tell him who you are and tell him what's going on with your father. I'm going to tap out real quick, so keep talking until I come back out, because I think I got to come out and come back in because I can't see the screen, all right? So tell him who you are and tell him what's going on with your father. So I'm going to give you the screen by yourself, then I'm going to bring the other brothers up that's down there. All right, family?
Facts. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, peace and blessings to the universe. My name is Talib Shakur. I'm one of the sons of Dr. Mutulu Shakur. Just to make a slight correction that he's not free yet. You know, he did get granted parole, but his release date is in a couple of weeks. So then, you know, the family is definitely waiting for his arrival, and you know, of course, the friends and the supporters definitely waiting for him to get out here to the free world to finish living off his life. As I was saying, my name is Talib Shakur, and just found out that this great man is my father, like maybe 5 years ago now. And ever since then, I've been pushing forward for his freedom, for the liberation, you know, to give to the world the real narrative of this man. You know, I know when y'all look on the YouTubes and the social media, you see something about, you know, the Brinks truck and all these other entities. That does not make the man. The man, the spirit, the culture that he is, you know, it's all about helping, building, healing. And all the research that I have done, that's all I see up in there. So many people are so thankful for his leadership, you know, especially the brothers that's incarcerated, because I've done interviews with individuals that he's been incarcerated with, younger brothers that told me if it wasn't for him, Mutulu Shakur, they either be spending the rest of their life in prison, or, you know, their mindset when they got out wasn't different. So they told me themselves that the reason why they are better them is because how Mutulu was able to change their mindset on a negative mindset to a positive travel for the rest of their life. And it's a blessing to know that this great man is my father, and I can't wait till he get out so he could further teach me on, you know, a lot of things that he have taught and he instilled in the brothers that he's been incarcerated with. So I'll wait that day, and, you know, just to be there for him so he be able to, you know, have a better transition into this free world. He asked me a lot. I visit him often, you know, and while I'm on a visit with him, he asked me certain questions like, how's the world out there? You know, what should I prepare myself for? You know, rightful questions. And I'm so thankful that I'm able to enlighten him on a lot of do's and don'ts, because again, he's been down 36 years. And when he get out, it's going to be a rude awakening from the time that he got captive to this time now, you know. So he's appreciative on me just giving him the real. Sometimes people fill his head with things that's not actual, but he knows that I'm going to tell him the truth whether he like it or not. And that's one of the things that he appreciate about me, because I'm not going to butter the biscuit, because what type of justice is that? How do I help him if I'm telling him everything's going to be one way and it's not that way, you know? So as always, I always, you know, shout out Unique for really plugging with me and giving me the history on how he know my father and introducing me to other individuals that's been in those spots that know my father, because these are the ways that I'm able to learn about him, being that I wasn't in his life all these years and there was no doing of him. You know, my mother chose to keep me from knowing who my father is because of back then what was going on, you know, dealing with the higher ups and the government and, you know, the police force, that, you know, it was a safety issue toward all those that was either with the BLA, Black Panther, any type of liberation for our people. You know, COINTELPRO and other entities were trying to do all that they could do to not just lock them up, but to eliminate them. So in a way, I thank my mother for it, but in a way, I like, damn, wish I knew my father much longer, you know, because there was a lot that he was able to teach me positively. You there, Unique?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you, big bro. Now I'm gonna bring a brother up that was with your father, my man Sebastian, the one that I spoke on before. Bring
Yeah.
Sebastian up, please. You know, so he could introduce himself and let the people know who he is. The thing
Hey,
is lagging, so you're on bed with us today. You know. All
hey,
right,
Talib.
Sebastian, tell them who you are, family.
Hey, Talib, how you doing? I'm Sebastian, man. Everybody call me Bass right now, right? And
Peace, King. Pleasure to meet you, man.
yeah, I want to say the pleasure is mine through the spirit of your dad. And you just stated that first I want to tell you I met your dad when I went to Coleman Penn 2. I was in Coleman 2 when I met him. And I did 18 years in federal prison myself. But when I met him, he changed a lot of lives. He had more power on the compound than the warden. When I mean he had more power on the compound than the warden, this man had stopped riots that could have burned the prison down just with the wave of a hand. That's how many people respected him.
Wow.
You said the legacy of your dad. You can see the legacy of your dad by me, by Unique, by us being here, being a symbol of what he represented as success. Because me, myself, I was not really focused when I first went in. And when I came around him and when he started introducing programs and started mentoring to us, it helped change the directory of my life. It helped give me focus. So I'm an example of what your father has produced. Unique is an example of the seeds of what your father has planted. And there's many more that's going to come. Many more that's going to come. So if you want to know what your father represented, this is what he represented. What we're doing today. If you have any questions for me, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Okay.
When I was there with him also.
Okay. All right.
He was he had brought in a rapper named Ja Rule, and they performed live for us. After Ja Rule's performance, somehow the video wound up on the internet. And the next day they took your dad and transferred him to ADX right off the compound. And he had nothing to do with the video being leaked. He just was responsible for bringing the rapper to the institution to have him perform for us.
Wow.
So, yeah. He had started a music band, a music group, and that's how he connected with most of the people on the population. I'm talking about anybody from a gangbanger to a drug lord to you would name it, whatever. They respected him hands down. And he brought a lot of people together through his music, through his just association, calling groups on the compound, meetings on the compound, and everybody came and everybody heard what he had to say and they respected him. And when he spoke, his word was gold. And that's where it stands, and that's where it was at. It's unfortunate to hear about his release or his preparation for release at a time under his condition when we needed him out here sooner to make an example, to lead by example, to help change lives. So if any questions you might have for me, I'm more than willing to answer them.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, the questions could be endless, you know. It warms my heart to know that y'all are able to have a form of back history about this great man. And what's funny is that I could have a jealous bone in my body, or I could have a thankful bone in my body. Because the jealous part is that y'all know my father more than I know him. You know, y'all spend more time with him than I know him. So the mature me don't have that jealous bone in his body. The mature me is seeking for more knowledge of him because of y'all. I sat at a couple of feet since I've been home, and well, yeah, since I've known who my father is. And they tell me similar to the same type of stories and scenarios that, you know, how much he is a pivotal to really helping changing people's lives. So in the form of, let me ask you this, when did he actually change your life? Because there are, everybody have a point to where they change from the negative to the positive. Do you remember the conversation or what part of the prison y'all was in when that happened? Take me through that walk if you remember it.
Sure. The time where he had made an impact on my life was when I came to the music room. He had put together a music group to have all the young men that had talent to come to the group. Now, I say that to say this. What he has done was provide a platform for the freedom of expression through music. where our voices are oppressed, our feelings are rejected, our ideas are denied, our freedom is rejected. So for him, what he done when he opened up the platform and created this music organization inside the prison, brothers that knew how to write poetry, when they never was able to speak to someone that would be able to hear them, they was able to speak through their poetry. They was able to rap the lyrics through their poetry, how they felt, through their struggles. And when I realized that he created this magnificent platform to allow people the freedom of expression, that's what changed me. And I said, I have to do something. I have to do something to help change people's lives. Because
Wow.
I seen busloads and busloads of young men coming in prison, no direction, lost, turned out, not focused, just want to drug and drink and waste their life away. But he provided an opportunity to let them know that there was more than that. And I was more than happy to be a part of it because I was a songwriter. So I was able to produce music and pick up an instrument and work with these young men. And when he allowed, he allowed to show us that when we care for them, then they care for themselves. And that was the power he had. Because a lot of young men in the street don't care for themselves. That's why they do things to land themselves in early grade. So when he created that platform, and we had brothers like me and other big name people, I'm not at liberty to mention at this time, to be an example and work with them and show them that we care for them, then they start caring for themselves. They start doing better. They went to school and got the GED. They stood in the law like ready to case. They wrote letters to their mother, girlfriends, and their friends. They became better people around with each other. It was less fights. It was less stabbing. There was no murders on watch. That's the example.
Wow, that's a blessing right there. That's a total blessing, and that's a little bit what I be speaking, because I build with the youth as well, and I understand how we have to meet them where they are. All our youth, all of us, I'm gonna put us in the category as well. When we was out there doing our life of crime, it wasn't like we just wanted to do it and we just that way and that's how it is. I done spent over 16 years incarcerated as well. And before I left up out of there, I was making sure that I didn't leave out with that same type of mindset. So shout out to, you know, the individuals, the mentors that I had forcefully. I was up there in Sing Sing, and you know, I was acting up a little bit, but there was a couple of individuals that seemed that, you know, this young man don't know what he's doing up in here, man. He's gonna end up spending the rest of his life up in here. Let me pay attention to him and, you know, snatch him up out of his mindset and take him to the program that they was going to, you know, even working out in the yard just to be in that type of fold. And as I'm in the fold with them, they giving me knowledge, building with me, you know. And these are, like you said, strong backbone type of dudes, you know, dudes that, you know, you look at them in the street, you're gonna look the other way. But that's, you're looking at the physical, but the mental and the spirit of the man do not want you to be in prison for the rest of your life. So they helped me change my mindset to get out in society, to live a productive life. So when y'all speak about my father, it's like, wow, these are the things that he was doing in there, and I could bear witness to because other individuals helped me out, you know, help my mindset out. So it's not like it's fabrication. These are facts. The facts are that a lot of young men that turn into men aren't trying to continue using recidivism way of dealing with their life, going inside and in and out of prison. So only thing we need is a brother or sister, you know, because When I build about our incarcerated females as well. We can't leave them out, you know what I mean? So what they go through as well, when we have individuals that's helping us change our mindset, that speaks volumes about that person. Because for one, when they do it while we in prison, they're not getting paid for that. They're not getting no type of extra meal in the mess hall or nothing like that. They do it because that's the passion in their heart. That's what drives them. So when I do go and visit my father, right, I be looking at him. I keep it a buck with y'all. I look at him, and he sometimes be like, "Yo, why you looking at me like that?" I said, "You don't know how much love you got out here in this world, man." So I said, "Yeah, what do you mean by?" He said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "When you get out, you'll see. You see what your YouTube channel look like. You see what your Facebook pages and all that look like. Because he's oblivious to all of that. He only hears what people tell him, and then I tell him about the stories that all of y'all tell me. And when I say the person's name, you're like, "Oh, word, you linked up with them? All right, cool. Those some good people there. Some real good people. I'm glad you linked up with them. So he's still trying to have people connect with good people, even if they're not in incarceration, even if they're not in captivity. So I believe what y'all saying. I know because I traveled that way and I had mentors that held me down. I could say a couple of them by name, but I don't want to, I don't want to forget about some of the other ones. So I choose not to really, just title one person name, because all of them get their props. I had like maybe 6 or 7 mentors that really paid attention to me. And to this day, I'm appreciative of them. And then when I do see them, I tell them, "Yo, thank you." It takes a real man to tell another real man, "Thank you. Thank you for help changing my life around." So if my father, no, I'm not going to say if, I know he did. Being that my father did that for y'all, that right there, I guess it's in the blood. It's in the blood. And, that's how I feel about helping other people, and it's, eventually he will be on and he will be able to, expound on a lot about a lot of different things. So Uni, I know that he have helped you out a lot and helped you change your mindset about a lot of things. Can you pinpoint the pivotal point that, a conversation that y'all both had? All right, you were saying that you was going one way and then he was going other, y'all switched beds. What made you feel that, yo, this man right here is a person to pay attention to?
Because when I got to Lewisburg, I'm hearing the echo. I don't know if anyone else is hearing the echo. I apologize for it. It's lagging real bad today. But when I got to Lewisburg, everybody was speaking highly of him. You know what I mean? And that's all I heard about before I even met him, before my feet even got solid on the compound, was about your father and how he was, doing certain things. And they was talking about how he got transferred. So I didn't get a chance to see him in Lewisburg. You know what I mean? But I heard he just left, and of course that's when Tupac was real big. So that's all they was talking about, was Tupac and things like that. You know what I mean? So when I did meet him on the plane, he said, "Young man, you're going into a hellhole. Make sure you don't take any medication. Focus. Take the little program they offer and do, what they saying to do to get out of there, because it's a one-way trap that's set up to keep you in there." You know what I mean? So when he said it was a one-way trap to keep you in here and don't take the medication, as I got off the plane, the first thing they did was let me see a psychiatrist and try to offer me medication. And what your father told me on the plane is what resonated with me, and I knew then that it was time to, really take life serious. So I couldn't read or write. I didn't tell him that at the time. But when I was going to ADX, I couldn't read or write. But from what your father told me about it being a one-way, track to keep us in there. I went in and I signed up for my GED. I met, some older brothers. A brother named Bernard Goins. I think he was in TD out of Chicago. Good brother. If anybody knows, tell me reach out to him. Should be home now. He was doing his own legal work. Our case overturned. Not to brag, but he smashed the police in Lewisburg, and that's how he wound up in ADX. And even he was starting to get his life together, and just that alone was enough to let me get on the right track. And then I was blessed to run into your father again in 2018. They sent me out to Victorville, and me and him did a lot of talking because we found out that, I knew his son, I knew Tupac in the street, on a personal level. He used to come to my club, hung out with me, and my man Mo Grime, you know what I mean? That was his man, Mo Grime, you know what I mean? But, took Tupac shopping with me, Mo Grime shopping with me, and, we did what we did, you know what I mean? And, from there, he told me about Chad with the music. I told him I had to make an audio chant. I was trying to get that out. He was guiding me with that. And he told me that he had another son that was doing music, doing beats, that can make a beat for me. And, he always offered to try and help me. And then, he was telling me about Chaz. He was going to put me on the phone with Chaz. He started a Black Band. He was interested in the music business. So I hooked up, with him. And a short time after that, Chaz passed. You know what I mean? And then a little while after that, Mutulu called me out to the yard, and he told everybody to get away from the table. He wanted to talk to me one-on-one because he always had a bunch of people around him, and everybody was trying to get another
my brother Unique. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. If you have to turn off your microphone to kill an echo. Everybody got to turn off the microphone while one person speaks. So
y'all try to turn your mic off because it is echoing. I don't even know why.
And we got like maybe 10 more minutes. So if anybody need to call in or something to ask questions, it'll be a good time to do that as well, if possible.
All right. So if y'all want to call in, ask some questions, because we get ready to tap out. The weather bad, so everything is messing up. But I just want to bring the brother up here. And thank you, everybody. Blood on the reason why. And it's definitely most appreciated. And Draco, from 38, thank you. But if y'all want to call in and talk to brother, because my mic is echoing, so I want to stop talking and let y'all talk to the man of the hour if y'all want to ask me any questions. But what I would like you to share with the people is what's going on with his health and how did he get released, so that they know that. I'm gonna turn my mic down.
All right, so we're working with 8 minutes. I'm gonna try to cram everything in within this 8 minutes. So basically, his health is still, unfortunately, not to his benefit. He's still dealing with the bone marrow cancer and other elements that he's dealing with. And that's one of the reasons how he was able to get the compassionate release, and that Deloitte was doing some things to really expedite his release. He went to his hearing last month on, I forget the exact date, but they had 21 days to respond to the hearing, and they respond on the 21st day. And that 21st day, they granted him parole, which was like maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. No, about 2 weeks ago, because my phone started blowing up like crazy right after that. And it's like a bittersweet situation, He's supposed to be out in 2 weeks, like I said, and things go right. He'll be heading to probably Cali or wherever, where his practice is at, because that's where he have his license for acupuncture. That's one thing we didn't speak about, was the fact that he was the first black acupuncturist in the world, more or less. And he got trained in China and brought his skills back into the United States to help a lot of people that was addicted to drugs and things. And he was able to get them off of it through the form of acupuncture. And I was so blessed to conversate with a number of individuals that he had healed through that form of acupuncture. So I know that we speak about his alliances and how he helped people incarcerated in captivity. We also have to keep in mind that, you know, he did his thing as far as healing in the realm of acupuncture, and he still do. So, you know, when we speak about the man Mutulu Shakur, this man have different branches, so many branches of helping him that extends from his core. So, you know, you may see him in the projects in the hood with the gangsters and all of that. You might see him, you know, like I was saying, doing acupuncture up in the cup with the drug addicts, bent down on the ground, people that you probably walk over, probably kick or do some nonsense to them because they're less fortunate. Nah, Mutulu, he'll been down and have a conversation with them and figure out how can he heal them. And some of them, you know, still speak about how he have changed their life up until this day. So, you know, a family man, he loved his family. You know, it's all about, you know, family. And what he do realize is he have branches of family. Yes, he have his blood family, but he also has the family that's not blood. And you have to recognize that how he loved them as well. So you don't have to only be blood to be family to certain individuals. It's about how y'all treat each other and how, you know, y'all help each other move forward. And that's what he looked for. So I look at all of y'all who he feel his family. Y'all gotta be my family. You know what I mean? And because if he consider that, that's just like a wider branch of brothers and sisters, nieces and aunts, cousins and uncles and all of that. You know? So again, I'm grateful. I'm thankful for this interview. I'm thankful for, you know, me being a Shakur, because we are definitely proud people, and I'm learning more about my last name now than I knew in the past, because my name haven't always been a Shakur. When y'all watch the documentary that I'm building up or read the book that I'm almost finished, you'll learn more about the travel of Talib Shakur. It's really deep. We're gonna expound on how I became a Shakur. We're gonna expound on who are the Shakurs. We're gonna expound on, you know, Tupac, Mopreme Shakur, Setra Shakur, you know, the nucleus of that comes from Dr. Mutulu Shakur. So, you know, I know we got 3 minutes left, so I want to pass the mic and thank you, Uni, for, you know, putting this together. And, you know, yeah.
You have a caller. We have a caller that got a question for you. Go ahead. What's your question, caller?
Peace and blessings, family. You know what I mean? My name is Sean. I just wanted to tap in to let you know I appreciate you brothers coming on and being shown to, you know, respect. I just want to really say, man, can't no words really grateful I am to have and hopefully can continue to go on. Individuals showing up, wanting to help your job, and peace and blessings, brother.
All right, thank you, family. Yeah. So that's what it is. It's happening up. The brother gotta go. We just want to tap in for a minute. I don't know how it's gonna come out when it play back because of the echo and everything else. My screen lagged on my end. But I just want to say, man, welcome home to your father. It's definitely well deserved. I still remember the day when he told me in the yard that, you know, he had cancer and they was getting ready to send him to Kansas, you know what I mean, or Kentucky, you know what I mean? And, you know, I appreciated that he had that much respect for our friendship to share that with me. You know, with, you know, it's hard for you to tell somebody about medical conditions such as that. And I know he's happy that I'm home because he told, you know, you to reach out to me. And like I said, he was a pivotal point in my life, man. And I appreciate him. I appreciate you and everything that have to do with the Shakur legacy and anything that I could do to help. You know what I mean? I'm here. That's why I'm doing this show, just so that they can understand that the brother's coming home. I got it from, you know, from his bloodline, you know, to you. So if y'all got any questions, call in. He's getting ready to tap out. And, you know, that's what it is. Sebastian, you want to say something else? Unmute Sebastian so he can speak. You know?
Sebastian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think if you turn off your mic, the echo will stop while speaking. Can you try to turn off the mic for a second? Shakur.
Uh-huh. You can hear me?
For a second. So it can stop the echo. Okay. Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me? I don't think anybody else can hear me. I can't hear myself, but I don't hear the echo now. But what I wanted to say to you is that I commend you for saying that you felt a sense of envy because you didn't share the spirit of your dad as a young man coming up. And those are the regrets that I have not being the father of raising my daughter. So I know exactly what you're going through. And it takes a lot. I hear the echo again. Yeah. Now I don't hear it. But I can't hear myself. So I guess if we turn it down, it'll be okay. But we're doing the best we can. And I want to thank you for being able to have me sit here with you in honor of your dad, to be able to express how he impacted not just my life, but a lot of young men that's yet to come that will express the same thing to you. So I thank you.
How about now? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, absolutely. All right, yeah, you know, y'all more than welcome. And I think I'm appreciative of meeting you right now. You know what I mean, Sebastian? And just because we met today, we must stay in contact for tomorrow. You know, I don't believe in just having an interview with somebody, and then after this interview, we don't be in contact anymore. So, Uni, if it's all right with you, can you please exchange our math with each other, so we can stay linked up?
Oh, that's no question. Definitely, you got it. And I feel that's where we need to stay in touch because we're doing the same things right now. I just want to add one more thing. What your dad represented is helping build community leaders to help change lives. When we did whatever we did to cause ourselves to get incarcerated, we became different people and came out to realize that we have to make a difference so the young men don't follow the path that we took, the land of where we land up at. So this is what your dad represents, the change in humanity, the change in young people's vision, to let them know that they deserve to live. Because if we show them that we care about them, then they care about themselves. And we need a lot of love in this world, because every day you hear about young men just slaughtering each other like it's nothing. But we are the symbols that can reduce this violence in our communities. We are the voices because they try to follow our example, but we showing them that we did it the wrong way, and it's not that way. The way that we're supposed to do it is build communities, start businesses, and provide jobs for people that's unfortunate, that don't have the vision that we are blessed with. It's a reason why we went to those institutions and reinvented ourselves and came back to share our stories to help change lives. We have to plant the seeds, even if we don't see the fruit that bears off the tree. As long as we plant the seeds, that's what's important. And this is the foundation of starting a new nation. And like you said, there's organizations and spiritual wickednesses in high places that's going to try to stop the movement, but don't concern yourself with that. Just keep planting these seeds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Brother Bash, please tell them about your foundation you got coming up.
Yes, when I came real briefly, I started a nonprofit organization called Stop New York One. It's a selective intervention for at-risk youth. And we also have a new organization that we're just about to release next month, where you can call in, you can text or chat with us 24 hours a day to get unconditional support, no matter what your reason is. We'll be here for you. And this is open to everybody. Anybody that need any kind of emotional support, any kind of job, transitional housing, any resources that you need, we are here to provide that for you. And the organization is called Stop New York One. We're starting to build the website. It's still in construction, but Unique will let the world know soon as released. And I think he's going to invite me back and we will tell you more about it. I don't want to take the shine off my brother Mutulu Shakur because it's about him tonight. So let's keep this about him, all right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's my brother. Like I said, I met this brother in Lewisburg when they were basically trying to kill me, man. And I didn't even know him from a hole in the wall. They put me in a cell with him to show you how warriors work. They put me in a cell with him, and the administration came to move me, you know what I mean, to basically take my life at 1 o'clock in the morning. And when they came, I told them I wasn't cuffing up. So they told him to cuff up because he was my cellie at the time, because they just took me off the bus and put me in the shoe. And they told him to cuff up so they could come in and rough me up, beat me up, and toss me in the basement in Lewisburg, you know, what they call the dungeon. And this brother right here, he stood up and said, "Nah, I'm not cuffing up. If you coming in to come get him, you coming in to come get me." You know what I mean? So the two of us stood shoulder to shoulder in the cell in Lewisburg in 2006. And, you know what I mean? He helped me down. You know, when they saw that it was two of us and we wasn't going for it, you know, they backed off, you know what I mean? And, you know, the next morning they came, they moved me. And the day after that, they sent me on my destination and got me out of prison. So I left with my life. But if it wasn't for him, you know what I mean? I may have lost my life that night. You know what I mean? And like I said, I told this story on one of my prison talks. So like y'all know, my prison talks is official. You know, I speak facts, I speak truth, and I speak the history of the federal BOP. And this man is a product of the men that they was locking up, because I've been in cells with brothers that the police tried to come and extract me from to try and bring me bodily harm, which they, you know, sometimes they did. You know what I mean? Keeping it 100. They broke my ribs, knocked out my 4 front teeth, swole my genitals up this big. So I done been through hell in the BOP, but it's because of brothers like this why I made it out of here alive, injured, but alive. And I want to take this time to thank you, Brother Bash. You know, I didn't know you from a hole in the wall. I told you I will get out one day. And when I get out, I'm going to reach out to you. Tell them what happened with that so they understand from your words, big brother. You know, a quick joint, not to take the shine, but just so they understand the struggle of the BOP, so that the youngins know you don't want to go to prison. It's nothing nice. None of this is to glamorize anything. It's just to let y'all know what it is, man. So tell them how our encounter played out from your words, you know, from your experience, so Brother Shakur could understand what his father also went through, because he got plenty of stories too, you know?
Well, thank you, Unique. Thank you, Unique, for giving me the opportunity to express this to the young men in the world so they can know what this is really about and how they get down in the BOP, in any prison. Well, we was in transit together. I was heading to Raybrook, and I think Unique, you was heading to Raybrook yourself. So being that we was heading to the same institution, they put us in the same cell. We didn't know each other, but at 1 o'clock in the morning, I know something wasn't right. And when they knocked on the door and they told him to cuff up, he already told me his story that he had beef with them already. So my spirit expected something was going to go wrong that night. And it played out where they came to the cell, they told him cuff up, but I seen death in their eyes. In prison, if you a cellie with another cellmate and death is coming for that cellmate, death is also coming to you. So my first reaction wasn't to think. I got up off the cell, got off my bunk, and I told him, you're not coming in here to take him out. And if you come in here to kill him, you're gonna kill me too. So I'm not cuffing up. And I put my life on the line to protect him because we was protecting each other. And that's how we had to get down to make it out of there alive. Too many people got murdered in prison by officers that's unreported today. And we wasn't going to be an example. So that's how we made it out alive. And he said, yeah, one day I'm going to reach out and reconnect with you. And here I am. We connected right back yesterday, and I'm right on this platform to tell the story today.
And
so,
tell them what happened today. How did we spend our day today, my brother?
we studied and understood the law and how to use the law to get out of prison. Because when the prosecutor drafts up an indictment, this called stacking. He'll take one charge and multiply that charge. And when he offer you a plea, he'll take off probably 10 of those counts to make you think he's doing you a favor. But when you actually take the plea, you just took the whole case as if you went to trial and blew trial. So you're doing the full extent of your time. So we had to understand the law work. And in my travels, I helped maybe 5 people get out of prison. You know, I take no credit for that. You know, I take no credit for that. We just had to do what we have to do to get out and make it out of there alive. So we studied the law. That's all we did. And we studied each other. We studied self and how to be better men to self. And one thing, I'm going to leave you with this. They respected our stance so much, they didn't come back at us. They let us leave alive.
You know what I mean? Because they knew it was going to be a fight. And like I said, I already punished 2 of them before, not to brag, just letting you know that I'm going to fight to save my life. If anybody try and bring me harm, I'm going to fight to the death. And even if I get killed in the process, I feel like I won because I fought. You know what I mean? I mean, I was raised by my mother. You know what I mean? We're going to speak about my mother in a second because I want Talib to understand this. I was raised by my mother, and she always told me that never back down from a fight. If you back down from a fight, you lost that fight. If you stand up to the fight, no matter what happened during that fight, you won that fight. You're a winner because you stood up as a man, you know what I mean, to defend your manhood. You know what I mean? So for the youngins out there, not to tell you to fight, but let you know, don't let anyone take advantage of you. Stand for your rights. Stand for who you are. You understand what I'm saying? Because just by standing up for who you are, it shows who you are. Tell them how we spent today. Today, what did you do? I just talked to him yesterday for the first time since 2006, and I met him for 2 days in 2006, and I told him I will get back in touch with him. I'm going to reach out and tell him what we did today, Brother Sebastian.
Let me say this real quick before I get into that, if you don't mind, respectfully. I see the time. I do want to say there are a lot of officers in the world, and I do not promote being violent towards officers. We do need them to help protect us, because when we get into problems, we need to call them to help protect us. They're supposed to protect and serve. But at the same time, there are bad ones. But I do not promote violence against any officer or anybody else. I just want to make that clear. And we spent our time talking on the day. And I had
hold on 1 second. Now we're gonna let Dr. Talib go because he gotta go, and I appreciate him. I don't want to hold him up any longer. He said he's gonna be here till 10. Talk about your documentary before you go, and then me and my brother Sebastian will close out, for you. So let him know about your documentary and whatever else you want to, enlighten the people about. All right, Brother Talib, hold on, Brother Sebastian. We're gonna stay on when he goes.
All right, real quick, and I apologize that I have to rush off because I have prior engagements before and after this one right here. So I wanted to make sure that I gave Uni, my undivided attention. So as far as Sebastian, it's a pleasure meeting you, and I pray that we link up again after this interview. I'm working on the documentary titled "Sacrifice," Dr. Mutulu Shakur. You could see some of it on YouTube. And it's a lot going on with the documentary. It's speaking about a lot of things that we're speaking about right now. We have interviews from individuals that he was been incarcerated with, how he had changed their life, family and friends that he done grew up with from the youngest, giving the story before he was a Shakur, you know, and how he became a Shakur and how the travel was. So the documentary is definitely going to be impactful for those that, you know, want a documentary / mini-series. Then you're also going to find out how the relationships that I have with my Shakur family, Mopreem Shakur, Cedric Shakur, and once you hear about those names, you do your research on who they are, then you'll see how powerful the documentary is going to be. And some other undisclosed names that's going to be on it that y'all definitely be appreciative of. So with that, again, I apologize for having to rush off the airway right now, but to all the listeners and the supporters of my father and the Shakur family, we truly appreciate y'all. We don't take y'all for granted, and all those that have been fighting for his liberation and that's tired and need to sit down for a minute. His words from my mouth to y'all ears is that he truly appreciate all that y'all have done. He understands how this is a tiresome fight, and if y'all need to sit down for a minute or for indefinite, he appreciated and truly thankful for all that y'all have done and all that y'all will do. Just keep pushing forward, you know, for the liberation of other people that's in captivity that shouldn't be up in there. We got to keep the push alive. So peace and blessings to everybody that's in the sound of my own voice.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother, for tapping in. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We're going to say plenty of prayers for your father. And me and my mother was talking today, Brother Talib. And my mother is 87. She was born with 2 front teeth in the mouth. So she's a wise, spiritual woman. You know? What my mother said to let you know, you know what I mean? That they waited till they felt that your father was on his deathbed to let him out. But she believed that God is going to prevail and allow him to live well past that 6 months that they predicted. So let's all say a prayer for Brother Mutulu Shakur when he come out, that he outlived the 6 months that they're giving him with the bone cancer. And that's all I wanted to say before I go, and thank you, brother.
Appreciate both of y'all. Thank you very much. Keep pushing forward. Uni, hit me up later on, all right?
All right, family. And someone said thank you for the fight and sacrifice. Peace out, family. I know you got to go.
All right. Thank y'all. Blessings.
All right. All right.
Well, we talk. We hook up. We're going to hook up.
Yeah, we're definitely going to make sure you hook up, you know. But, you know, that's what it is. Let's take Brother Talib off the screen so I can talk to Brother Sebastian to close out. And, you know, we're going to make this short and to the point, but I just want y'all to understand what loyalty is, you know what I mean? And what honor is, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I didn't know this brother from a can of paint, man. And they put me in a cell with him. And, my assistant called me this morning, was having an anxiety attack. And I had to let her know that, yo, leave everything in the Lord's hands, man. Don't worry about nothing. If you lost your keys, you lost your wallet, you tripped and broke your ankle, you know what I mean? You got in a car accident, you're stuck in traffic, whatever it is, that's Allah's will. You know what I mean? That's where he wants you at that moment. So don't try and use your physical powers to change that. Just go with it like a leaf in the wind. And that's what I did. When they told me I was going to Lewisburg, I didn't panic. I already knew they was going to try and kill me when I got there. But I went there, you know what I mean? And then Allah floated me in with Brother Bass on the air with us, and he was there for me. And so all I'm trying to tell y'all, man, don't break the law. There is laws, there is rules, there is codes, there's even criminal statutes and codes. And if you violate them, there is consequences, just like there are rules in your house. You spread your bed in the morning, you brush your teeth, you know what I mean? You eat your breakfast, You understand what I'm saying? You don't curse around your parents. There was rules from we was youth, and there's rules now. And whatever field you choose to step in, you know, to follow those rules. You know what I mean? And if you hit the streets, then there's a rule and there's a code that you're not supposed to tell. And that's why I'm telling you, don't get involved in the game. So you don't have to make these choices. You understand what I'm saying? Stay out of it and stay where you at. But if you think you're tough enough to deal with it, that's why I'm wearing this shirt. So you can cop the shirt at Raw in Harlem, cop the book at the Raw in Harlem, and I'm just letting y'all know what it is. Now, Brother Sebastian, tell them how we met yesterday. Well, we spoke yesterday for the first time. You've been out 4 years. I've been out 2. And today, what happened today? Let them know what happened today, man. And I thank you for today.
Well, you gotta just refresh my memory on which part, because we had talked
about talking to my mother. Let's get right to the point. Talking to my mother. What was that like, that experience, and what did you learn from her? And about me, and about, you know, just my legacy in general.
Well, for the first time, I had the honor to speak to your mom, and we actually talked for an hour and a half. And through our conversation, I realized that your spirit is connected with Marcus Garvey. You are a direct descendant of Marcus Garvey. And if we look at the history of Marcus Garvey, you know what he represented, you know what he tried to do for America and for people that was unfortunate and underserved in our communities. And that's why you had that fighting spirit with you all the time. No matter what happened to you while you was incarcerated, something will not allow you to lay down. So she talked to me about the legacy of Marcus Garvey, the brother, and how she is family and your family, every one of y'all is connected to this bloodline, and that strength and how powerful that strength is. All the things that she endured to get to America, from trying to obtain her visa and her green card, and being able to get on the plane without the visa or the green card, and just with $200 that somehow appeared in the mailbox, and she was able to use that money to come to America to give you and your brothers and your family a different life. I mean, I would like to go a little bit more into it, but I don't want to go too much into it because she shared a lot of personal information, and only with your permission, I will speak on those things a little bit further.
Oh, you definitely have my permission, big brother. I just want them to understand what the struggle is about, that life is hard, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. And even in her age today, we spoke about her injuries. And I said, you know, how's you coping and are you getting rest? She said, I have no time for rest. I got to keep going. You know, even walking with a cane right now and using all the strength she has to still get around, to stay active, to stay mobile. And the most important of all, the spirit is still strong and alive and thriving. And she speaks with so much resilience and ambition that there's no quitting. And that's a spirit that she has in her. That's a spirit that you have in you. And that's a spirit that we must possess to fight and keep fighting and make it in this world. No matter what we're going through, we got to keep our head up and keep pushing forward. And that's the message that she gave me today.
Well, thank you for talking to my mother. You made her day. I had to get out the room. They started getting a little deep, and they was getting a little flirtatious, you know what I mean, and everything else. Because my mother got a beautiful sense of humor like mine, and it was an honor to just see her smiling like that, man. And she really enjoyed the conversation, and you know, it was a blessing, man. And I want to thank you because you know, that's our first love is our mother. You know what I mean? That's our first love, man. And just to see him connect with my mother made me feel good. And know that Allah did the right thing by putting me in the cell with him that night, so that you know I could survive. You know the plan. You know what I mean, that they had for me, and that it was unfolded because I had a good brother like this. And I thank you again, brother.
Well, I thank you again, Unique, and I just want to say that I don't take the credit for what happened tonight. All praises go to Allah. We have to give all praises to God, you know, because without him, we couldn't make it through nothing. We couldn't make it through a day. We couldn't make it through a night, you know. So because of him and having that faith, we're still here today. And that's the spirit we have to share to the youth out there in the world. To let them know, like, this path that they travel and they don't have to travel it. There's a legal way to make money. It might take a little longer. It's the long money, but it's worth it than the quick money, because Just if you have a homie and he's your friend, and let's say, for example, he give you a kilo and he give it to you on consignment, you lose that kilo and see how much he's still your friend. You lose, and see if he's going to give you time to get that money back, or is he going to give you a pass, and you'll see how much you have friends in the street. So even in incarceration, there's cars, New York car, Boston car, and the people that's out there to hurt you is people from your own car most of the times. So this game and these rules in the street is not what they're cracked up to be. The way that our youth are conditioned, we have to start reconditioning them, not with the morals and values that's twisted that we are honoring in these street codes that don't love us back. So the way that they're conditioned, we have to show them it's the wrong way. And they have to know that they have the power to be reconditioned in the right way. Because you want to every day and look at your family in the face and say, I love you. You want to be able to be a grandfather to your kids. You want to be able to provide for your wife. And we have to show our young men how to be faithful to one woman and be respectful to that woman and treat her like a queen so she can be the woman that holds down our foundation. There's so much more that we have to talk about. And I don't think we have the luxury of time to cover it all in one setting.
Okay. All right. So we're about to tap out, man. Make sure you sign up and subscribe at Unique Mecca Audio TV. Subscribe at Unique Mecca Audio. Cop the book of Raw in Harlem. Check out the merchandise. I got the audio book. I got everything else going on. My brother Bass got his website that I'm going to help him put together this weekend. So by Monday, you know what I mean? We could get that out the way because he said he wanted it done by yesterday. So we're going to call yesterday Monday, and we're going to knock that out by Monday so that I could bring him back up here and we can have a nice conversation. Hopefully everything is working right because Shaitan is always with us. And you know what I mean? He didn't stop us tonight. He tried, but we continue to push forward because, like I said, just by standing up to a fight, you're a winner. Okay?
Right.
All right. All right. Thank you, big brother. You want to say anything else before we go?
Yeah, I want all of us to lead by example. I want every young up there, whatever you're into, whatever street code you think you're honoring, these streets don't love you back. And I want us to start leading by example to make a difference in young people's lives so they can make a difference in ours and the difference of the future, the people that's coming behind them. That's all. Let's lead by example and show that there's a better way to make it in life.
All right. Unique Mecca Audio tapping out, man. All right.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Oh, yeah. I want to say thank you to Sean Kennedy for the Cash App, Blood on the Razor Wire. Let me see who the other one was. I definitely want to thank him because it's definitely appreciated. So we got Sean Kennedy, you know what I mean? We got Christopher Brock, Sean Scott, you know what I mean? Thank you. And you most definitely appreciate it. All right. So we tapping out now with that. Thank you, Brother Bash.
All right.